So here's the thought to kick us off. In this world that AI is shaping more and more every day, who actually, owns and controls these really powerful digital minds, we see these huge AI models coming out of Google, Meta, OpenAI, and as we're going to unpack today, these AIs, they're mostly built to serve the companies that made them, optimizing for shareholder value. And look, this isn't just some philosophical thing. It means the AI's goals are tied to the company's bottom line, right? Think targeted ads, engagement metrics, maybe subtly steering your choices.
Yeah, it's actually a really profound shift we're seeing. There's this potential for an incredibly sticky dependency, where just a handful of tech giants could basically own the infrastructure of intelligence itself. And that kind of concentration of power, well, it brings real risks. It could stifle innovation, lead to a less diverse, maybe less resilient digital ecosystem. But today, we're doing a deep dive into a different path, one that Near Protocol is putting forward. They're betting on a future where you actually own and control your AI.
Okay, that definitely sounds like a counter-narrative.
Yeah, okay.
So let's explore this vision, right? This idea of user-first AI. We need to look at the tech they're building to make it happen.
Yeah.
And also, critically examine the big challenges ahead. This whole deep dive is really about figuring out if we can genuinely get back our digital sovereignty now that intelligent agents are becoming so central. So, all right, before we jump into your specific solution, maybe let's just set the scene a bit. Remember Web 2?
Oh, yeah.
It gave us so much convenience, free email, social media, all those seamless services. But as the Blockrower piece points out pretty clearly, it came at a really steep cost, our privacy, our control.
Right. We essentially became the product.
Exactly. We became the product in this huge data economy. Our digital footprint got packaged up, sold off, often without us really giving ongoing explicit consent.
And if you zoom out a bit, you see how those algorithms, the ones running our feeds, making recommendations, they basically act like black boxes. They shape our reality, but without any real transparency. Then, okay, Web3 comes along. The promise was restoring that sovereignty, right? Putting users back in charge.
Yeah, but here's the critical question, and the article touches on this. Did it actually deliver that for most people?
It seems like not without a huge amount of friction.
Right. The article really hammers home the complexity. The risk of losing your seed phrase, like one mistake and poof, all your assets gone. That single point of failure is terrifying. And then just the steep learning curve of managing wallets, dealing with gas fees. It felt less like liberation for many and more like this really high-stakes technical puzzle only experts could solve.
Exactly. That dream of real user ownership, it got kind of buried under all these technical hurdles, just inaccessible for your average person. And this is precisely where Near Protocol comes in. And their message is pretty direct. Fork that.
Huh. Yeah, that's blunt.
It is. Their whole thesis is clear. For any system to truly work for everybody, the user has to be in control, period. They are literally building the infrastructure for AI that serves its owner, not, some corporate balance sheet somewhere.
Fork that. I mean, that really does cut through the noise.
Yeah.
So, okay, it's not just a philosophy for Near then. They're actually engineering the whole stack to make this happen. So where do they start? If you want user-owned AI, what's the absolute first piece you need?
Speed. It has to start with speed. It's just a practical necessity. Think about it. An AI agent acting for you, it can't sit around waiting on a slow, congested network. Imagine it trying to execute a trade the instant some market condition hits.
Right. A few seconds delay could be the difference between making money and losing it.
Exactly. Or managing your digital identity in some super fast online interaction. Or coordinating tasks across multiple apps. Most blockchains, they take minutes to confirm things. That's just not workable. Near was specifically designed for speed and scale. We're talking sub-2-second block times. It functions much more like a responsive operating system for these kinds of intelligent applications. It provides that dynamic environment they need.
Speed is the foundation for autonomy. That makes sense. Now, speaking of foundations, there's this really interesting link, isn't there, between Near's origins and, the core tech behind modern AI.
Yes. That's fascinating. The Near co-founder, Ilya Polasukin, he actually co-authored the paper, Attention's All You Need.
The Transformer paper. The T in GPT.
That's the one. So the thinking behind Near's design, its theoretical roots, they trace directly back to the architecture powering today's most advanced AI models. It's not just some coincidence, it suggests a really deep foundational understanding of AI baked right into the protocol's DNA.
Okay, that's a significant connection. But speed and AI know-how alone aren't enough, right? If your agent is stuck on one blockchain, it's pretty limited.
Exactly. It can't be siloed. Its usefulness plummets if it can't interact with the broader digital world.
So how does Near solve that? How do they give an agent like a universal passport to operate across Web3, this multi-chain mess problem?
That's where Near's chain abstraction layer comes in. It's actually a pretty elegant solution. What it does is it allows a single Near account to actually sign transactions on completely different networks. Think Bitcoin, Ethereum. It bridges these separate ecosystems.
Okay, wait, so let me see if I can paint a picture here.
Yeah.
My personal AI agent could be watching a DeFi thing on Ethereum
Yep.
while also managing some assets on, say, a Solana marketplace.
Correct.
And maybe using a Bitcoin-based identity system, all at the same time, without me needing different keys or wallets for each.
That's precisely the idea. For you, the user, all that underlying complexity of different chains just kind of melts away. It becomes this single unified experience managed by your agent.
So you could just give it a goal, like find the best yield for my stable coins across all the major chains. And the agent has the access, the capability to just go and do it.
Exactly. It abstracts away all those technical details. And sitting at the top of this whole stack are what Near calls shade agents.
Shade agents. Okay, what are those exactly? More than just chatbots, I gather.
Oh, much more. These are envisioned as your personal digital agents. They're autonomous, they're owned fundamentally by you, and they can execute really complex multi-step tasks on your behalf. And crucially, they operate only according to the rules and permissions that you explicitly set for them.
So we're talking way beyond just simple trades or pulling up information. Like, could an agent learn my preferences and, I don't know, proactively book my favorite type of workspace when I travel to a new city before I even think to do it?
Potentially, yes. Or imagine it filtering your fire hose of emails, only flagging the truly urgent stuff so you can focus.
Okay, that sounds useful.
Or managing your digital subscriptions, finding better deals, canceling ones you don't use anymore, maybe even negotiating for you for services like internet or insurance.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically an AI acting as your tireless digital advocate, constantly working to optimize your digital life based on your rules, even managing privacy settings across apps, revoking old data permissions you forgot about.
Ensuring your digital footprint matches what you actually want.
Oh.
Okay, that's powerful. But the vision goes even further, right? Beyond just individual agents doing things for us. You mentioned agentic protocols.
Yes, that's sort of the next layer up. The idea is enabling entire systems, platforms, even DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations that aren't run by humans directly, but by swarms of these collaborating agents.
Okay, give me an example. How would that work?
Well, connect it to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Imagine a DAO that's set up as a venture fund instead of a human investment committee deliberating.
Agents do it.
Agents could automatically analyze market data, vet potential investments based on pre-agreed criteria, allocate capital, all in real time. Much faster, potentially more efficiently than humans could. Or think about decentralized science, a research platform where agents from different labs or universities could collaborate on analyzing massive data sets, running simulations, sharing results in a verifiable way without needing central coordination.
So Near is building the framework for these agents to talk to each other, transact with each other, laying the groundwork for an internet of agents.
That's the ambition. An internet of agents free from central control points.
It's definitely an ambitious vision, which brings us, inevitably, to the challenges.
This sounds incredibly difficult. I mean, building secure, reliable, truly autonomous AI, that's one of the biggest mountains to climb in tech right now. What's the single biggest hurdle you see for Near in making this real for everyday people?
I think robustness is absolutely paramount. You have an agent with access to your money, your identity, it instantly becomes a massive target for attackers.
Right, high value target. Extremely high value. A tiny bug in the code, a vulnerability in the network. The consequences could be catastrophic, maybe even irreversible. So the security has to be rock solid. The hardware, the decentralized network itself, the logic inside the agents, all of it needs to be hardened for really hostile environments because people will try to break it.
And that's just the security side.
Exactly. Beyond security, there's this huge challenge of intent alignment. How do you make absolutely sure the agent perfectly understands what you want it to do, your nuances, your intentions, without misinterpreting anything or causing unintended side effects?
Bridging that gap between what I mean and what the machine does.
Precisely. It's a really deep, complex problem that needs a lot more research, a lot more development.
So, okay, while a lot of the industry seems focused on just building bigger, more powerful centralized AI models, it's clear Near is consciously taking a different path here, maybe even a countercultural one. They're actually shipping the tools, trying to build this user-owned alternative. Which brings us back to the core question, really. It's not if AI will be powerful, we know it will be. The question is, who gets to control that power? And that's a choice we're making right now, isn't it? With every platform we use, every technology we adopt, we're shaping that future.
And Nir's answer, it seems pretty unequivocal that control should belong to you.
So maybe something to reflect on after this deep dive. If you had an AI that truly only worked for you, what new kinds of digital agency could you unlock? What could you do? And maybe just as importantly, in a world increasingly run by these autonomous agents, what responsibilities would come with wielding that kind of new power?